Well, welcome back to part 2 of my 5 summer tags. As I said in part 1, I did spend quite a bit of time, both on camera and off camera, putting these tags together. I had so much fun using different techniques and different products for each one. So I used some glitter paper, and I have some die cut words. One says sun, one says fun. I think I have one that says adventure, beach, different things. So I did sun and fun, one in sort of a coral glitter paper and one in a yellow glitter paper. And then I needed an ampersand. So I had an ampersand, but rather than using one or the other glitter papers, I cut it out of some sort of deep coral color, a couple layers thick. And then I added glue to it and some orangey colored glitter. So I used loose glitter on that one and it came out great. So it's sun and fun on that tag. And then I've just stamped some sunglasses. I'm going to, then I have a die cut that comes with it. And so I'll do some other treatment to that as well, including glitter. I can't remember if I think I did it off screen. I add some glitter around the edges of the glasses and then some glossy accents. I couldn't remember. I had to restart the audio because I couldn't remember the name of it. Some glossy accents to make it look like they're glass. And then I've pulled out some stamps that I think will work for the under the sea one. And so I start using the ink I'm using is suede, cocoa suede or something like that from Stampin' Up. And so I'm just going to stamp them 2 little fishies and the dolphin. And then I think that I will do the sentiment in that teal blue. And then I'm gonna do it twice just to make sure I get a good stamped image. And then there's some little undersea grass that I'm going to put on either side of it, and I'm going to do that as a single item. And I'll do that in green. Then I'm going to go in and use alcohol inks off camera to color all these things in. I don't have a huge set of alcohol inks. I have a set of, I think, 40 colors, but I for sure don't have 3 of every color. You know, I don't have all the colors. But I had enough to make these fish and the dolphin look real cute. So you'll see that when we come back. And those are all fussy cut. And here the glasses have dried, and you can see I added that same orangey glitter around the outside of the glasses. And that means that I'm ready to finish up this tag. So I keep it relatively simple. And then for this tag, in the package that's going to go to my swap partner, I included a little chunk of both of the glitter papers that I used, so that if she wanted to cut other things out of that, then she could use that on her pages when she makes use of this tag. So I thought that came out really cute. And then I'm ready to stick the items down. I don't pop, do I pop everything up? Maybe I did pop everything up. I was thinking I hadn't, but maybe I did. So I have a small fish and a the sentiment, and then a big fish and the dolphin. And I have these clear water droplet gems, let's call them. They're not the shape of water droplets, they're just round. But they're so cute. I've used them on a few water-related pages, and I decide to sort of, for each fish and for the dolphin, I've got different sizes of these little clear, I guess, sort of like gems. They're not faceted, like as though they're bubbles, and that makes a really cute finishing touch. And I do include some of those in the swap packet as well, so that those can get sprinkled around. So just popping up all the little elements, give them some dimension. And for each of the bodies, to get the coloring right, I used really 2 colors of each, like 2 different yellows, 2 different oranges, 2 different grays. And then I've got these little bubbles to put on there. They came out really cute. So just trying to get the position of them, and then we'll glue them down. And I use art glitter glue, and it dries really super clear, and so you can't even tell. So I did 3 little bubbles for each critter. I'm switching out some sizes. I felt like some of the sizes were too big for this little fish, and then I'll use the bigger ones for the dolphin. We always do bubbles for fish, but do fish blow bubbles? I know dolphins do because they actually breathe air, but I don't know why I spilled all those out on my desk. It made it really hard to pick them up. I have little trays that I bought, but I forgot I had them at the time. Would have made it a lot easier to empty some into a tray. And I'll come back and do ribbons in all of these at the end. So you'll get to see, I have a drawer full of different ribbons and stuff like that. So I find it a unique ribbon for each one. All right, now it's time for the last card, and this one is going to be a beach scene. So I go into my scraps, got my brown scraps out, and I pull out something that I think will work for the sand, and then something for the sky and something for the ocean. I thought about using that, but I decided not to. Kind of too similar to the other tag that I did. I had that, and it already had some waves cut on it. But I end up finding a piece of turquoise shimmer paper, and I'm going to use that for the waves instead. And then I find something that's a lighter blue for the sky. Yeah, see, now all those gems are in the way. The silicone mat is great for holding things in place, but the problem is it holds things in place. So then when you're trying to pick something up like these, not so easy. Alrighty, so I'm going to get out my Creative Memories border punch to punch the waves, but first I decide I'm going to tear for the sand, which I like that look. I had thought about maybe crimping it as well, but I ended up not crimping it. I just am tearing it. and I decide to use the not white part of the tear. So that, and then I'm just going to layer them up. And as you can tell, I cut this piece of paper and I cut it not wide enough for the tag. I thought my tag was 2.5 inches. It's wider than 2.5 inches. So I made a mistake. I do end up using some of those, but I just take the other piece of paper and use it instead. And I think I do 4 or 5 layers of paper. I'm trying to make them so they're not all straight. Just trying to layer that sand down. And then I also add some ink. I think I end up adding 2 different colors of ink. One is, I think it's called antique linen, and then one is a brown. So this light blue is my sky. And I have that stencil that has clouds on it, but I go into my Kiwi Lane templates and find this other single cloud, and then I just flip it and move it around in order to create the clouds. And this is a little bit grayer than I wanted. I would have rather it been a little more blue, but it comes out fine. Except right at that very top, it was a little bit dark, but I just didn't use that part. So here I'm taking the cloud and I'm flipping it over and using the top and the bottom to create different looks. So then it's just a matter of gluing it on and cutting it to the shape that I want. So this is my Creative Memories border trimmer, and I end up just taping it down because it's not quite deep enough. Trying to remember how to put this together. This border system works great. Okay, sorry guys, I've been a little challenged on getting this voiceover completed. The dogs kept going crazy yesterday evening, so I'm back at it today to try and finish this up. So here I took that one little piece of scrap that I had. I'm going to cut it in half, and so that I can have 2 layers of the waves, and just trying to get that I need to add now more water because it's not quite, well, deep enough. So I'm just going to create a torn piece of paper that will then tuck in behind the sand. So time to assemble. I went to go find this, I think it's antique linen, and add a little bit of that to create a little bit more of a sand color, and then a little bit of the brown. And that's just to create some dimension on all those little pieces of paper. And the paper itself is has like a crosshatch in the print. So it's not just a solid piece of paper. It is a very old piece of Creative Memories designer paper. So I'm just doing the different layers. They're different widths, and some of them fade off and stuff like that. And I think that that's enough for me to create the amount of beach that I'm interested in. So I'm just putting adhesive on the very bottom of each piece, and that way it can you can even ruffle that up to create some lift as well. So I am doing quite a bit of sand because I have the palm tree and the sentiment that will go on the sand. Next, I'm going to do the sky. So I just line it up, and I'm lining it up so that I can eliminate that dark spot at the top that I thought was a little too ominous, not happy clouds. So just used the tag as a template to cut it. And then I'll go back in with my hole punch to punch that hole. And then just adding the waves. And so I want some difference between the between the sun and between the cloud and the ocean. So I went and pulled out these super old, I didn't want that straight line, super old scissors. I'm sure a lot of you, if you've been scrapbooking for a long time, you might remember them. So I want the waves close to the beach, and then I just wanted that little bit of a wavy horizon line, which is the darker paper next to the sun. And I think, honestly, that came out great. I had to trim that off a little bit because it was I was having trouble tucking it in where I wanted it. So there, you know how the water is lighter, closer to, and then darker out in the ocean. I can't believe I used those wavy scissors. I was thinking about doing the surfboard. I decided against it because it would just be a lot on here, but I am going to do some stamping, and I think I do it off camera, but I'm going to stamp the little starfish and the palm tree. And then I also, excuse me, I'm also going to stamp the this boat and put that out in the water. And a little sentiment. And I think that's, I thought about maybe I will want to do a sun or something up in the other corner. I decided not to. I decided to give it some space. Right. So now we come back after I've done my stamping, and you can see what we're going to do. I just glue this one down because I want to set it behind the waves. And then the palm tree, I think I stick down flat, just because it would be really difficult to elevate the trunk. And the little starfish, which I did in like a corally orange, and then the sentiment. So I kept this one pretty flat, and then I decide, well, let's add some sequins, and they're a little bit of a muted gold color, so they go really well with the sand color. So I decided to just sprinkle those around as if they were little shells or whatever in the sand. So I like the way those came out. And yeah, punch that hole, use my crocodile. And now I just need to decide on ribbon for each tag. I had two options. I decided to go with this striped red and white ribbon because I have an eyelet that is in the shape of a star. So I punch a hole using my crocodile, put in the eyelet, and that's what I use to connect the ribbon rather than tying it. So I apologize for that being off screen, but I just used the Crocodile to crimp that down, and it came out super cute. And then I have a little turquoise piece. I don't remember what all I used. I think I used the yellow because I liked it, how it, instead of using the same color, I liked how it went with the yellow fish. And then I use this tropical one. It does have all the colors that are on that page, and I probably so super tropical. No ma'am. No. 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 Hey, stop. And for the summer one, I've got an orange with yellow on it. And for this one, I pick pink, and it's got little stitching on the side. And I'm going to get some twine and tie that in a bow. And then I have this, actually I think I change. I was gonna do this orange, and then I think I decide that it might be too bright. Yep, didn't like it. Found something else that I liked better. Okay, you guys, I'm all finished. I've done a little bit of cleaning of my desk, not completely. So here are my 5 summer tags for the swap. On this one, I did do a whole reinforcer using the glitter paper and some super old stash ribbon. I'm leaving this a little long in case they want to make it shorter and then use a little bit of ribbon somewhere else on their page. I thought that would be nice. So including that, one little shaker pocket that says Fun Summer, a red, white, and blue star tag. I'm going to cut a few extra stars out of the same paper so they can sprinkle that around their page. And a Life is Better at the Beach, little beach scene, and an ocean scene. So I used all the things. I used, let's see, sequins, a shaker pocket, glitter paper, stencils, ink blending with the stencils, stamps, die cuts, and all of these were made from scraps from my scrap bins. So please like and subscribe, and go check out Ginger's Corner for fun stuff like this.